Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Discover Your Dreams. This space is rooted in the grounded life philosophy where inner peace becomes the foundation for purposeful living. Here we focus on regulation, awareness, and conscious self-leadership as a way of returning to ourselves and meeting life from a grounded place. Before we begin today, take one slow, steady breath. Feel your body settle, even just a little, because today we're exploring something that quietly shapes every corner of your life: self-trust. Not confidence, not certainty, not perfection. Self-trust is something quieter, deeper. It's your ability to believe in yourself, to hear your own signals, to stay in honest conversation with your inner world, and most importantly, to trust that connection enough to follow it, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's unfamiliar, even when it asks you to grow. Most people imagine that self-trust is forged in the big moments, the major decisions, the bold risks, the dramatic turning points. But that's not actually where it begins. Self-trust grows in the small, almost forgettable moments, the tiny choices, the ordinary pauses in your day. Moments where you either listen to yourself or abandon yourself. Every time you honor what you feel, even in a subtle way, you strengthen that inner bond. Every time you override yourself, you weaken it. Self-trust isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the quiet. Self-trust means this: when you feel something honestly, you don't immediately dismiss it, minimize it, or explain it away. You give your inner experience the dignity of being heard. It's the ongoing practice of listening to your body, the tension, the ease, the signals it sends long before your mind catches up. It's respecting your boundaries, even the ones that feel inconvenient or unfamiliar. It's acknowledging your emotions without shaming yourself for having them. And it's honoring what you know internally, the quiet truths that live beneath logic and habit. Self-trust is choosing not to abandon yourself in the moments when it would be easier to stay silent, to stay small, or to stay agreeable. It's staying loyal to your inner world, even when the outer world has other expectations. It's the steady, compassionate decision to remain on your own side. Many of us were conditioned out of trusting ourselves long before we even realized it was happening. We learned to override our feelings because someone else's comfort seemed more important than our own. We learned to prioritize external approval, to shape ourselves around what others wanted, expected, or rewarded. We learned to second-guess our instincts, to assume someone else might know better. And we learned to disconnect from our own internal signals, especially when those signals didn't match what the world around us preferred. Over time, that conditioning takes a toll. We stop hearing ourselves clearly. Our inner voice becomes faint, hesitant, unsure. Or worse, we still hear ourselves, but we don't believe ourselves. We treat our own truth like a rumor instead of a source. We doubt what we feel, what we sense, what we know. Rebuilding self-trust begins with recognizing that this disconnection wasn't a personal failure. It was a survival strategy, and now you get to learn a different way. There was a moment in my life when I felt a quiet internal no. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It didn't come from panic or urgency. It was subtle, almost easy to miss. A small hesitation in my body, a slight tightening in my chest, a sense that something wasn't fully right, even though I couldn't explain why. But logically, everything looked fine. On paper, it made sense. Other people would have approved. Nothing seemed obviously wrong. So I overrode that inner signal. I told myself I was overthinking, being sensitive, making something out of nothing. I pushed the feeling aside and moved forward anyway. That was the moment I abandoned myself. Quietly, politely, almost invisibly. And like so many of us, I didn't realize the cost until much later. Nothing catastrophic happened right away. There was no dramatic fallout, no obvious consequence. On the surface, everything continued as if nothing had shifted. But internally, something did. A small fracture formed. Quiet, almost invisible, but very real. Because every time you ignore yourself, your nervous system notices. It registers the moment you turn away from your own truth. It keeps score in subtle ways. A little more tension, a little less clarity, a growing sense of doubt. And over time, I started trusting myself less. Not because my intuition had become unreliable or unclear, but because I kept overriding it. I taught myself moment by moment that my inner signals weren't worth listening to, that my body's wisdom was negotiable, that my own no didn't matter. Self-trust doesn't disappear all at once. It erodes in the moments when we hear ourselves and choose not to believe ourselves. That's when I realized something important. Self-trust isn't lost in one dramatic moment. It doesn't disappear because of one choice or one mistake. It erodes slowly, almost quietly, through repetition. Through the small moments where we disconnect from ourselves, override our own signals, or choose someone else's comfort over our own. And the opposite is also true. Self-trust is rebuilt the same way, through repetition. Through small, consistent acts of listening to yourself. Through honoring the subtle cues you used to ignore. Through choosing again and again to stay connected to your inner world. Rebuilding self-trust isn't about perfection. It's about practice. Ask yourself gently, where in my life do I already know the truth, yet keep talking myself out of it? Where do I feel that quiet inner tug, that subtle knowing, that small flicker of honesty I keep pushing aside? Then pause for a moment. Let your body soften. Let your mind stop reaching for the right answer. Give yourself a moment of stillness and allow whatever wants to rise to come forward in its own time. You don't have to force it. You don't have to analyze it. Just let the truth you already carry make itself known. From a nervous system perspective, self-trust is a form of safety. When you consistently listen to yourself, your cues, your limits, your needs, your body relaxes. The internal conflict quiets. Your clarity strengthens because your system learns my signals matter. My truth is allowed. But when you repeatedly override yourself, even in small ways, your body learns something very different. It learns, my signals are not safe to follow. It learns that your inner cues will be dismissed or pushed aside. And that creates a kind of internal instability, anxiety, confusion, self-doubt, and a sense of being ungrounded. Your nervous system isn't trying to sabotage you. It's simply responding to the pattern you've taught it. And the good news is that patterns can be rewritten gently, one moment of self-listening at a time. People often struggle with major life decisions, not because they're incapable or unprepared, but because the foundation underneath those decisions is weak. Big choices feel overwhelming when the relationship you have with yourself is unsteady. And that steadiness, true self-trust, is built long before the big moment arrives. You don't suddenly trust yourself in the middle of a life-changing decision. You don't magically access clarity under pressure. You trust yourself in those moments because you've practiced listening to the smaller ones. You've built a pattern of honoring your inner signals, so when something truly matters, your system already knows how to hear you. Self-trust is not a switch you flip. It's a muscle you strengthen through repetition, long before you need it most. There was another period in my life when I consciously began rebuilding trust with myself, and I didn't start with huge life-altering decisions. I didn't try to overhaul everything at once. I started small, almost imperceptibly small. I listened when I felt tired instead of pushing through. I let myself be honest when something felt off, even if I couldn't justify it logically. I allowed myself to change my mind without guilt. I honored small boundaries, the ones I used to dismiss as not a big deal. And what surprised me most was how powerful those tiny moments became. Each one was like a quiet vote for myself, a signal to my nervous system that my inner world mattered, a reminder that I was learning to stay with myself again. Those small choices, repeated gently, began to rebuild a foundation I didn't realize I had been missing. Every time I listened to myself honestly, something inside me softened. The tension I'd been carrying, often without realizing it, began to loosen. My internal conflict decreased because I was no longer fighting my own signals. My clarity strengthened because I wasn't constantly overriding what I felt. And slowly, almost quietly, I stopped needing so much external validation. Not because I suddenly became fearless or immune to doubt, but because I became connected to myself again. I wasn't searching outside for answers I already held inside. I wasn't outsourcing my truth. Rebuilding self-trust didn't make me perfect. It made me anchored. It made me honest. It made me mine again. This is where sovereignty truly begins. Not in controlling others, not in having all the answers or never feeling doubt. Sovereignty begins in the quiet, steady act of becoming someone who stays connected to themselves, someone who doesn't abandon their own knowing the moment it becomes inconvenient or unfamiliar, someone who can feel their truth and remain loyal to it, even when the world around them pulls in a different direction. It's an inner authority, not an outer performance. A way of living where you trust your own signals enough to follow them. A way of being where you no longer outsource your clarity. This is the foundation of true personal power, coming home to yourself and staying there. Let me ask you something honestly. What's one small way you've been overriding yourself lately? Not in a dramatic, life-changing way, just in the quiet, everyday moments where you feel one thing but do another. Maybe you've been saying yes when you genuinely mean no. Maybe you've been ignoring your exhaustion and pushing through anyway. Maybe you've been dismissing your own feelings because they feel inconvenient. Maybe you've been staying silent about something that actually matters to you. If you are comfortable, share in the comments what you have been ignoring in your life. You don't need a full explanation, just the essence. Awareness is where rebuilding begins. It's the moment you stop abandoning yourself and start noticing the pattern. Let's practice something simple. For the next 24 hours, pay attention to the small internal signals, not the dramatic ones, not the life-changing ones, just the subtle cues you usually move past without noticing. Notice when your body tightens, even slightly. Notice when something feels expansive or open. Notice when you need rest, even if you think you should keep going. Notice when something feels honest or dishonest in your system. And instead of immediately overriding yourself or rushing past the moment, pause, just for a breath. Just long enough to hear what's actually happening inside you. Then ask yourself, what would it look like to trust myself here? Not perfectly, not dramatically, just slightly more than before. These tiny pauses are where the rewiring begins. Self-trust compounds. It grows the way anything meaningful grows, through consistency, through repetition, through the small choices you make when no one else is watching. Every small moment matters more than you think. Every time you listen to yourself, even in a subtle way, every time you honor what you feel instead of dismissing it, every time you tell yourself the truth, even when it's inconvenient, you strengthen the relationship you have with yourself. You show your nervous system that your inner world is safe, that your signals matter, and that you can be trusted to stay with yourself. And eventually, those small moments add up. They reshape the way you move through life. Decisions feel clearer. Boundaries feel more natural. Your sense of direction becomes steadier, not because life gets easier, but because you're no longer abandoning the person you need most, yourself. You do not build self-trust by becoming perfect. You build it by becoming honest, by listening to yourself consistently, even when it's inconvenient, by returning to yourself repeatedly, especially after the moments when you drift away. Self-trust grows through the small, steady choices to stay aligned with what you feel and know. It's built in the moments when you tell yourself the truth instead of performing for others. It's strengthened every time you choose connection over self-abandonment. Over time, those small moments accumulate into something powerful, a stable internal foundation, a sense of groundedness that doesn't depend on external approval, a relationship with yourself that feels reliable, steady, and real. Self-trust isn't built in the huge moments people see. It's not forged in the dramatic decisions, the big leaps, or the turning points that look impressive from the outside. It's built quietly, in the ordinary, almost invisible moments where you choose not to abandon yourself. In the moments where you feel a truth inside you and actually honor it. In the moments where you stay with yourself instead of pushing past your own signals. This is where self-trust grows, in the subtle, everyday choices that no one else notices, but your nervous system does. You don't need to force yourself into certainty. You don't have to push, strain, or demand clarity from yourself before it's ready to come. When you learn to trust yourself in the small moments, the subtle cues, the quiet signals, life becomes safer to move through. Your nervous system relaxes. Your decisions feel less pressured. Your inner world becomes a place you can rely on again. Certainty grows from connection, not force. I'll see you next time.